Everybody, hello everybody. Today, the most important parasite, Ascaris lubricans. Actually, this parasite belongs to phylum Ascaribenthis, class Nematoda, order or family Ascaroideae, genus and type Ascaris lubricans. It is commonly called as roundworms, threadworms, roundworms like this, and it is the very most important endoparasite of intestine of man. So this parasite generally occurs in the human intestine, but actually they are seen in the children's than that of adults. So this parasite is a endoparasite and it shows sexual dimorphism. Sexes are separate, male and female, and both of these parasites are the male and female. The males are smaller than females, or we can say that like this: the females are larger than males, and the male Ascaris, it is measuring length of 10 to 15 inches, while females are 50 to 20 inches in length, and these are long, cylindrical, anterior-posterior ends are tapering. Both ends are tapering. Anterior, posterior, both sides are ends are tapering. And color of the body is reddish yellow. When we see the fresh specimen of the parasite is reddish yellow in color. The parasites generally, the parasite male and female, they shows there are 4 longitudinal lines are present. They are running entire length of the body of the Ascaris lubricans. So these 4, one is mid-dorsal, one is mid-ventral, and another 2 are lateral in position. These lines are running entire length of the body. One is mid-dorsal, one is mid-ventral, and 2 are lateral in positions. So now here we see on the whiteboard the parasites female Ascaris completely long, both sides are tapering, while we see in the male Ascaris anterior end is tapering while it becomes posterior end is tapering and recurved ventrally, and posterior end of the, just in front of the posterior end, there is an aperture is present in the male, and this male cloacal, that is called as cloacal aperture. And this cloacal aperture arises there are 2 projections, that is called as pineal setae. Pineal setae, these are projecting to the cloacal aperture. And both ends of the anterior ends are mouth is present, and which is guarded by 3 lips. So the most anterior end of the mouth, just below the mouth, there is another one aperture is present, that is called as excretory pore. And from excretory pore, approximately there are 2 meters differences below the excretory pore, that there is another pore is present, aperture is present. That aperture is called as gonopore. So this gonopore is for the purpose of useful for the sexual reproduction, and the pineal setae are, these are the male reproductive organs, and when these 2 combine together with the help of pineal setae, and when it is irritated and inserted into female gonopore, and the sperms will be transmitted to the gonopore, into the female ascaris. So this is the complete structure of the Ascaris lumbricoids. Hello everybody. Today now we will go to Ascaris lumbricoids life cycle. So this is the very most important and very interesting topic of life cycle of Ascaris. So now what we can say that the parasite, endoparasite of the Ascaris lumbricoids, when it is present in the human intestine, and it will be causes so many diseases and it causes so many disturbances to the persons. So actually its life cycle is depends upon only a single host, that is called as only man. So this type of life cycle is called as monogenic life cycle. So the Ascaris lumbricoids, it is the endoparasite of human intestine, and of this parasite actually the fertilization is internal, sexes are separate, and it shows sexual dimorphism, and these parasites involves only a single host. There is no intermediate host, there is no secondary host, only a single man, that is the first and final host is the man. So now modes of transmission. Modes of transmission means transmission into man. First of all, transmission to man. So when the parasites are present in the intestine of man, and here both parasites are undergoes copulation or mating. After copulation, the male penis is erected and inserted into female vagina. And here what happened to say that the sperms are transmitted into the female vagina, and it will be reaches into the directly and waiting for the ovum, and ovis comes from the ovaries, ovisex, and both of these are combined together in the oviduct, and that there may be fertilization maybe takes place, and the fertilization is internal, and the fertilization is internal, and the fertilization maybe takes place. After fertilization, the fertilized eggs are formed, that is called as zygotes. So there are so many thousands of eggs are present, and they can be liberating from the female gonopore to the human intestine. So many thousands of eggs are liberated, laid down from the female, and they will be comes outside from the gonopore into the human intestine. And finally, the host, that is man, and he will be sent outside from his body with a fecal matter with these eggs. After some times, these eggs will be comes into the soil, and here during the favorable conditions, under temperature, weather, atmosphere, everything, and sunlight, all are favorable to the liberated eggs of the female Ascaris, eggs of the on the soil. So they will be waiting for the under favorable conditions, and finally after some times, after several days, those eggs are becoming infective form of the larva of the eggshells. So they will be waiting for the final host. Now transmission into final host. How it will be transmitted? When a person, when a host, when he was contaminated with water or any raw vegetables or food, and these eggs are directly enters into the intestine of man. And this larva, when it is reaches into the intestine of man, here the eggshells are dissolved due to the action of gastric juices. The eggshell is dissolved and due to the gastric juices, and in which the larva comes outside, and the larva is called as rhabditiform larva of the shell. Rhabditiform larva. So this rhabditi larva, it is the larva of Ascaris, and it looks like a rhabditis. It looks like a rhabditis. Rhabditis means just like adult. So therefore, hence the name was given rhabditiform larva. Yes, try to understand. And it is cylindrical in shape, and it has a straight alimentary canal with a mouth and the anus. It has a straight alimentary canal with a mouth and anus, and it contains all parts of the just like a adult Ascaris, except the reproductive organs. So now this infective rhabditiform larva, further development maybe takes place in the new host. That is the how it will be enters, and when the host contains contaminated water or any raw vegetable materials enters into the human body in the intestine, and finally in the intestine of man. Hence the egg membranes are dissolved, and the rhabditiform larva is released. So here when the eggs comes outside from the human intestine to the outside along with the fecal matter, those eggs are infective form. They are actually formed by the infective form due to the under favorable conditions. So here the eggshell will be developed into three membranes: outer, inner and middle. The innermost layer is lipoid layer, middle is shell, and outer is the protein layer. So here the newly hatched out larva does not remains in the intestine. Only it goes out of the intestine for about 10 days. Actually, when it is enters into the intestine of man, but here it is not reaches into the direct intestine, and they will be goes to the another area, particular areas. And this larva, 10 days, several days, thus the larva outside of the intestine is called as extra-intestinal migration. Such type of is called as that is the extra-intestinal migration. Now this larva penetrates through the intestinal wall, and it reaches into the mesenteric blood vessels. This larva, this is a complete this is the rhabditiform larva. So this is a male and female sperms and eggs. Rhabditiform larva eggs is formed, and the first mount is mounting. Rhabditiform larva is in the intestine and hepatic portal system. Now this here, then it is reaches into the liver and through the hepatic portal vein, to reach the intestine. Into the heart, the liver to the now from the liver, here it enters into the heart and via hepatic veins and the post-caval vein. So here actually now this larva penetrates through the intestinal wall and reaches the mesenteric blood vessels, and then it reaches the liver through the hepatic portal vein. Now the hepatic portal vein, now from the liver it enters the heart via hepatic veins and the postcaval vein. Now, the last one, that is the, again, now from the heart, liver to heart, heart to now, heart, it is carried to the lungs through the pulmonary arteries. Liver to heart, heart to, again it will be reaches into the, or it carries to the lungs through the pulmonary arteries. In the lungs, here it enters the alveoli. In the lungs, there are alveoli are present. In the alveoli, enters into the alveoli, where it lives for some days, and it will be grows, and then again from the alveoli, the lungs, it passes and through the bronchus into the bronchus into the trachea into the esophagus, and esophagus into the throat to the, and finally they will be moved into the esophagus into the, and it finally it will be reaches into the small intestine, and directly here it will be reaches and stable for 9 to 12 months here. So in this period, there are, first of all, when it is here, it is first molting is taking place, and here when the liver to the heart, when it will becomes here from the heart, there are second and third moltings takes place, and finally the fourth molts takes place in the, where it is enters into the intestine, that there may be fourth molting will be takes place, and the complete this larva is develops into an adult within the 9 to 12 months of the span. So actually the eggs are laid from the female Ascaris. Near about 2,70,000 lakhs of the eggs are liberated from the its whole lifespan. So this is the complete life cycle of the Ascaris. Now it's a pathogenicity, where it will be enters, where it will be goes, where it will be traveling, where it will be migrate to the different parts of the body of the internal organs. Here it will be causes so many diseases, and that diseases are, they are called as gastrointestinal disorders, and when it is lungs also, pneumonia is affected from the pneumonia, and blood cells eosinophilia affect diarrhea, whatever it may be. So many diseases, so many troubles are faced the person. And now take the precautions. First of all, we should wear shoes or chappals, and cutting the hair nails, and wear the shoes, chappals, and wash with soaps hands. And even though, so these are the some of the importance of the precautions and treatment. Generally, there are so many medicines are available, anti-helminthic drugs, albendazole, like this medicines, tablets, and these tablets are found and available all every medical shops throughout the villages, urban areas, rural areas, everywhere, and we should take this type of anti-helminthic drugs as per the prescription of the doctor. So this is the gastrointestinal disorders, and it causes a disease known as ascariasis, and it causes fever, and everything is, and so this is the complete life cycle, pathogenicity, control, treatment of the Ascaris lumbricoides.